Hi guys, it's me Karen. Welcome back. I've come to finish the page I started with Alice's Wonderland coloring book. I started on the Alice page here. I've got her finished. She has everything on her. I'm going to just put it that way. If you saw the first video, I'm checking out how the paper reacts to water mediums, inks, pencils, everything, just basically. So this is one day after that, and I'm going to show you the crinkling of the paper on this side. It's not terribly bad. The second page here, there's a tiny bit of wrinkling here, but it's not going to have any reaction to the page that you color on the other side. So it's not so crinkled you can't color it. So that's fine. There is a little tiny transfer of the pattern over here where I was coloring her skin and trying to get it fixed because, you know, we made her neon yellow to begin with. So put a piece of paper down between your papers so you don't get transfer on the other side. It will erase. That's not a big deal for me. So just to let you know, you should really stick a piece of paper back there. Okay, what I'm going to do is the little bunny rabbit here, probably some shadowing and maybe a little bit work on the background. So I'm going to lower the camera and we'll be right back. Well, we've decided that it's okay to use water mediums in here, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the little jacket on the rabbit here with the Graphtints in Autumn Brown, and I've scribbled it on here. Autumn Brown has got a red tint to it, and this little bunny could use a little red on his jacket just to bring in some color. I think I'll use the same brush I did yesterday, just testing it on my finger to make sure that there is no color on it, which there was. Bright yellow. We do not want to make him an orange jacket. Testing the water. Okay, so you see when I add water to that, it turns a kind of this red color, not a brown, so that's the color I'm after. And we're just going to lay it down here on his jacket. A little bit goes a long way. Just don't want to put too much on it, but you want it to show. And don't want to put too much water on this either. Okay, that is the one thing I did notice yesterday is my other water brush does put too much water on here, and I didn't like that. Okay, his other sleeve. This is a very light coat that I am putting on because I didn't want to go as dark as I did yesterday. We can always use the Polychromos, the Prismacolors, Luminance, you name it. This book takes most pencils quite well, which is nice. I like a book you can just pick a medium. You don't have to play around with it too much. Just a little darker down here on the bottom. Like I said, don't put too much water on. The paper will pill too, so you've got to be careful. Gonna leave it. And then we're going to bring in some distress ink. I have a couple of colors. I think I left them down here. Hickory Smoke, which is a blackish tone. I'll get a scrap piece of paper that I had one out here on my desk. Hold on a second. Okay, piece of paper. Let me show you what the Hickory Smoke looks like. I'm using the detail blending tool from Ranger. So it's going to look like that. Black is just a little blacker, so that does have a smoke color to it. We're going to go next to the bunny, who is supposed to be a white rabbit. So we are going to try to keep the rabbit white. But I want to darken up the shadow that he's in, because he is going down a hall, down the hole, or whatever you want to call it in the storyline. Let's see. The rabbit started violently, dropped his white kid gloves and a fan on the floor, and scurried away into the darkness as hard as he could go. So he is going down, down, down into this darkness, running away from Alice, who looks kind of scared to see a rabbit. Anyway, so between the two of them, we get two scared rabbits. Bring that gray down. Okay, we're going to do that on the shadow here. Try to bring it up between his legs without touching his legs. There we go. And that kind of darkens the hole he's going down, or the hall he's going down, whatever you want to call it, the area he's going down. If you wanted, you could bring some of this into the gray apron here and add a few more details. Just use it very lightly. And kind of using it right over all the pencils that we've already used on here. Just kind of adding a little more shadowing. And it can go in the blue area too. And we'll work it into the shadow over here. I think I'll bring a little of that red from his jacket into her kerchief here. Just so we have another little bit of red coming in. So it kind of looks like she has a red cheek, red here, so we have a value of 3 reds. Okay, I'm going to bring in some of the scattered straw that we used in her hair onto the walls. So this is the regular blending tool. This one's from Tim Holtz / Ranger. This one is a Ranger product. So if you're going to look for these, go on Amazon. Look under Ranger detail blending stick, because it's a stick. These are a tool. Comes in a 5-pack. Okay, so here we are. we are going to put a piece of paper. There's a line that goes directly up here, separating the wall from the ceiling, and we are going to put our paper right across that line, or as close to it as I can get. Then we're going to take our distress ink, test it out here, getting it on that one corner. We're going to bring it down and into the page. This is very light. Touching of the paper, just bringing it down. You want to make it as darker at the paper line up here, and then just bring it down into the paper. Make sure our line is where it should be. Go up here on this side, kind of run it on the paper and back into the paper, or up on this paper, running it into the coloring book. So by now I have barely any ink, and we're just kind of going around her hair here, just so it doesn't look white. And when I say barely ink, see there's barely anything on here. So we can go around and touch up any of these areas and bring it down into the wall, close to her body. Into this area. Just add a little more in there. And then on the outside. When you remove this, you'll have a nice wall up there. We're going to do the same thing on the other half of it. We're just going to place it here. And then we're going to bring in a, let's see what I got. Anything close here. Gathered twigs. Okay, it's a darker color. I'm going to be mixing on the sponge. I have the gathered straw on here, and I'm only using this one corner. And I'm going to just go straight in and gather some of the gathered twigs. Okay, and then we're going to go right on that line again. See, we didn't go down far enough on that part, but that's okay. Right on the line. There we go. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring that color starting on that edge. Getting it darker on that edge. And then just kind of dragging it out into the page. I'll be a little more careful around her face here because we don't want to change the look of her face. Okay, and then up here. All right, let's see how we did here. And then bring some of that yellow into our shadow down in here. Okay, I'm just going to dab it into the gathered straw very lightly, just go over this portion. So I want it to have some color, but I don't want it to I want to blend it out into nothing, is what I'm saying. Sorry, kind of like we did over on this wall. We're going to go in and do woodwork here in the woodworking, and we'll probably darken up this seam up here a little bit more. Okay, now down here on this wall, we're going to block it down here. We're going to go in with the gathered twigs and bring it down the wall. Remember, I'm not trying to cover the whole wall and make it solid. I'm just bringing out an ink line. We're going to do the same at the top here. Block it, bring it down. Okay, so that we have this nice little wall coming down. We're going to block it here. We're going to go into the gathered, or not the gathered twigs, but straw. We're going to bring that up. There's still a little of the gathered twigs on this brush, so that's mixing on the sponge. And then we're just going to bring this good straw up the wall. There. Okay, then we have to do something with the floor. And I think we're going to go, oh boy. We could go in with the gathered twigs. Just mark that line there. And just lightly bring it down. We haven't colored the fan yet, so we don't want to do that. We'll bring that color right into the smoky gray. And just give us a nice shadowy look. Okay, boom. On top of any of this area, we have my little stamp that I like to use. It's the, I gotta read it because I wrote it down, itty bitty background stamp in the smallest size. This is a Stampin' Up stamp, and we can put little dots. I like to mix those two colors on the wall to make it look a little older. And we put some in the ceiling up here, into that area also, and up here. Throw a few dots in there. That's kind of blurred, but that's okay. The one thing I didn't do yesterday was try to spray this with water and get an effect on it, and we might do that before we're done. So let's close up my ink so it doesn't dry up. I'm going to bring out a brown pencil. Let's see. Where are the browns? Do I have browns in here? I'm not used to the new set of pencils I have, so I have to find out where the colors are. We have a burnt sienna, so we'll try that color. See how that'll work on our wood here. I want to darken some of that. This here is also going to have a seam because wood doesn't come in right angles. So we'll add that seam in on those. Okay, up here, we'll just add this in here and kind of add a little more definition to that corner. Okay, we'll find a browner brown. Maybe. What are you? Castile earth or something. Let's see how dark that is. Okay. Like the inking I did down here, I don't want to bring all of the color over here. We just want to bring a little. So I'm using the side of that pencil and very lightly bringing it out. I'm only holding the pencil with barely a hand here. That's how light of the pressure I'm putting on there. All right, then we're going to bring some of that down. So do the same thing coming this area. Okay, and then that curve. And if you go over, you can just bring some of that color down into our shadowed hole. Okay. Now we're going to want to color the little fancy pieces here too. As you get closer to the center here, they lose all their definition, so just kind of keep it in the same area. Add some wood grain if you want. Just play with it until you like the look of it. Just don't make it too detailed. Okay. I'll probably play with that a lot. Sorry. But I tend to with the wood. Okay, so we're going to put a little more color on his jacket. So sorry, phone call came in. So I'm just going to go in with some, what is this? Burnt sienna here. Keep it in the brown tones, and we're going to just bring it in and do some shadowing along the shadows that he has already on his jacket and in the areas that need to be shadowed. Now that he's all dry, under his pockets, down the side, up the seam. Keep its hands kind of white. This will be the same color that I'll do the rabbit's coat and Alice in the same outfit throughout the whole book, if you're wondering. I don't believe she changes clothes when she falls down the rabbit hole. She stays in the same outfit, so she kind of has to look the same. And on top of any of that, if you need blending, we use the buff titanium, and you can lighten up an area that you think you may have gone too dark in, or if you want to blend that in a little bit better. Okay. Let's see. Anything else that should be done on the page? The fan, the white gloves are white gloves. I don't know what color the fan's supposed to be, but I can bring a little bit of the blue in there. So we'll pick a light blue out of this set. These are Luminance, by the way. This is ice blue. So we'll bring that in very lightly here. Give a hint of color there. And the gloves are going to stay white as they are. This is Persian blue. I'll just darken up the edge here, down here. Okay, and then white gloves are going to be white, and I'm going to add a little gray to the bunny rabbit. Oh boy, give me a gray. looks like it's a gray. What do we have? Pale gray 30. So in his shadowy areas, it's maybe a little more blue than I wanted, but just going to add some shadow in. Okay, blend it in with a little of the buff titanium. And I think that is good. I'm going to try to spray a little water on that, which means I have to get some water in my spray bottle. Be right back. Okay, I've got my water here. It's the Distress sprayer. I'm going to just spray it on this little areas of Distress ink that I did, and then I'm going to wipe it with a washcloth. You know, if I was prepared, I would have got a washcloth out. It isn't dirty, but I'll just use this one. I'm not crazy about all this stuff here, so I'm going to get it a little wet, and we're going to wipe it up. And it'll take some of that up. And if you want to get specific, just get the water down a little bit better there. Okay. We're going to spray it up here, and this is going to give it a kind of weathered look also, i.e. the old-fashioned part of the book. I'll do that down here on the floor. It's the fun part of not having to be so perfect when you ink. I'm going to throw some in here and up there. Okay, so we have this nice splotchiness going on. If you don't like the splotchiness, don't do it. If you think I did too much, you gotta wait for it to dry anyway. You can always go back in and re-ink it if you don't like the effect you get. Okay, so boom, that is the finished picture. I'll bring you up so you can see the whole thing. There we go. So we've got the splattered effect going up here. Like I said, this will dry and it'll get a little lighter up here. This is actually the other side of the paper. You can see the water went all the way through, so that'll dry nicely. Let's see what else you got here. The little dots, and of course the little bunny rabbit. Now remember, he's late for a very important date. He is the only character in the book that I recall that changes his clothes. Everybody else will be done in the same outfits and the same colors and the same whatever. I will even have to, well, I don't think I have to make her skin the exact same way, so I will not be doing the neon yellow on her. I will just color her skin in regularly. But he changes his outfit, I believe, 3 times in the book. For the tea party and for the trial. So he won't always be wearing a red jacket. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you had fun. I hope you have a wonderful week, or weekend, I guess, is coming up. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching, subscribing, and liking my videos. Ring the bell for notifications if you'd like to see another video. I hope you all have a great day. Bye now.